Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to talk about self-care and what that looks like after postpartum. So get comfortable and stay tuned. So I think that this is something that a lot of us don't talk about as much as we should. And it probably comes from a place of, I'll speak personally, but it came to me from a place of like wanting to juggle it all and wanting to be that superwoman and super mom and just having it all together, when truth be told, postpartum is trimester 4 and you realize after the fact that you don't have anything together, and that's okay. You know, you just had a baby and you're really just trying to get your bearings. If you have smaller children, then you're really trying to figure out, you know, how to incorporate this new life into the routine that you currently have with either your smaller children or if you have older children, but it's a new life that you're bringing into your family dynamic. So like I said, I think that we don't talk about it often, and sometimes as women or moms, we can feel ashamed if we don't have all the answers that we feel we're supposed to have. Specifically, I think that it's important that we understand how to balance motherhood in addition to being a wife, a spouse, a partner, as well as self-care. I'm pretty sure a lot of you may have heard of the saying or the quote, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup. And sometimes even in my own house, I look around and it's just like, everybody needs me for something. And while I love my family, don't get me wrong, it's just like some days I might hide out in the bathroom for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, because I just need to bring myself back to center so that I can have enough strength to not only muster up some for them, but to be able to give something to myself as well. So I'll be honest, we have 3 daughters. Lord be with us. We have 3 daughters. All are under the age of 4. So we have a 2-year-old. Well, she'll be 2 next week. So we have a 2-year-old, a soon-to-be 4-year-old, and a brand new 2-month-old. And so things are crazy in our house. It's never a dull moment, and it's hardly ever a quiet moment unless everyone is sleeping. So when I went through postpartum with our first, who will be 4 in September, it was really different. So it was more so an emotional postpartum for me because we lost the baby before her, and that's not something that I've talked about in the past, and I'm excited to share that experience with women through this platform, simply because that's something else I don't think that we talk about enough. So I'll get to that video on another day, but for today, my postpartum with our first was a little bit different. 1, she was the first, so there were no other children in the house. And then 2, it was just, you know, me, her, and my husband. He was working, so of course it was just me and her at some points, but it was kind of quiet because, again, no other children in the house. When they're first born, they sleep all the time. And so, you know, with her, I made it my business, and this kind of traveled with me throughout my entire postpartum for the additional children we've had after her. I'm gonna do something for me every day. And sometimes that something was just a shower. I made it my business every single day to take a shower and make sure that I smelled fresh, but make sure that I felt like refreshed, right? So if that meant I had to take a shower while she was sleeping, I took it. If that meant I had to take a shower before my husband left for work, I took it. If that meant that I had to take her bassinet in the bathroom with me and she's sitting in the bassinet while I'm in the shower, I took it. But not one day passed where I did not take my shower, because that was my 10 minutes at least, and I gave myself at least 10 minutes to have my me time. She was fed, she was changed, she was asleep, or she was just chilling. But I made it my business to make sure that I did one thing for me. So that was the first step. First step was one thing for me. I opted to make sure that I took my shower every single day, regardless of the day, regardless of what was going on, because it's easy to kind of slip into that funk where you don't want to do any, no pun intended, but where you don't want to do anything and you really just want to kind of isolate yourself. Second postpartum journey was with our soon-to-be 2-year-old. That one was a little rough for me because she actually looked like the baby we lost. And we lost We lost her at a pretty significant time in my pregnancy, so I was able to see like her features and things of that such. So that was a little bit harder for me because I did slip into postpartum, but I wasn't quite sure if it was postpartum. So I kind of just, again, being superwoman and wanting to make sure that I held everything together, I struggled and I suffered in silence. And that's something that, I said once I got back in my headspace, I would want to make sure that any woman that I knew I could at least have any type of reach to understands that you don't have to suffer in silence. And if you're suffering from postpartum depression, baby blues, or anything, there is nothing wrong with you. Your body is going through a very difficult time bringing life into this world, and you have to be gentle with yourself. You have to give yourself grace, and you have to ensure that you're ensuring that your mental stays on track. If you have a support system, talk to them. There's nothing wrong with you. If you have a support system, talk to them. If you don't have a support system, reach out and see if you can get in some type of support, whether it's mom groups, postpartum mom groups, if it's Facebook postpartum mom groups, or even if there's local therapy sessions in your area or virtual online therapy sessions. But make sure that you get the help that you need, because you can't pour from an empty cup. All right. So with the postpartum number 2, I still made sure I got my showers. That has been my golden rule for every pregnancy so far. Postpartum number 3, same thing. Postpartum number 2 was a little bit different because now she was 1.5 when we had our second. So now we have 2 little ones. But early on they sleep a lot. But my first was very much attached to me. My second is actually a daddy's girl. So that kind of worked out. It's where we kind of had a little bit of balance. We're still trying to figure out the third. We're not sure exactly what she will be. If she's a mama's girl, if she's a daddy's girl. Either way, we love her just the same. But with the third one coming in, it's kind of just getting where you fit in. The house is loud, and that's fine. But we have a routine. We incorporate her into the routine. And then there's some portions of the routine we've had to tweak because now, at bath time, she can't take a bath with the other 2. So we have to, structure her schedule a little bit differently. But everybody seems to be adjusting. So with that, the third postpartum has been a little bit different because I have a little bit more support from my family, my husband, of course, but my mom is also here to help while he's out working, and it gives me a little bit more support to be able to be there and kind of structure things a little bit better, as well as real estate and then mom life, and just kind of blending our routines until we get that good balance. It's never going to be perfect, and I'm okay with that. Now, I think by baby number 2, I realized that, and I just accepted it. There's going to be days that the dishes don't get done right after dinner. You're going to have to do them after everybody goes to sleep. There's going to be nights where you're like, you know what, I'll get to it in the morning, and in the morning turns into the afternoon. I say all that to say, give yourself grace. You just brought another human being into this world. You've just done, if you look at the statistics, if you look at what they say our bodies should not be able to do, you just did it. Whether it was natural, cesarean, I don't care. You did it. And you need to give yourself a little bit of grace. Rome wasn't built in a day. You'll find your happy medium. You'll find your happy space, your happy place, whatever that is. But just give yourself a little bit of grace and know that as long as you know that you're doing the best that you can, that's all that matters. Your babies will love you. I saw a quote that said, don't mind the mess, we're building memories. It was like a plaque you put on the wall. They're not looking for a spick and span clean house. They want somewhere where they can have memories. They want somewhere where they know you were there. They want somewhere where, they have stories to tell as they grow up. Mom, remember when? I'm getting those now. My baby's only 3, soon to be 4. And I'm just like, you remember that? So they don't care about, oh, remember that night you didn't wash the dishes? They're not keeping track of that. They're keeping track of the time that you actually spent with them, the memories that were built, and how it made them feel. So keep that in mind as well. Give yourself grace. And that's where you find balance. You have realistic expectations of what it is that you can do. Everything does not have to be done right now. What do you need to get done right now? What can wait? What can you delegate? What can you call relatives, friends, family, whomever, neighbors, depending on how close you are, to help with. Because I mean, a lot of women who've had children understand the undertaking that you're going through right now. So who can you call to help? It's not going to make you look like a bad mom. It's not going to make you look like a bad wife. Who can come and help so that you can, one, have a sense of accomplishment, and then two, maybe you just need to rest. Like maybe you just need to sleep. You've been pregnant for 9, technically 10 months, and you just had a baby, and now you're trying to walk around the house and be superwoman. Now, if that's your MO and you're fine with it and you're just walking through a field of daisies, have at it. But 95% of us are tired. And I was part of the 95. And so just, keep in mind, I can do this today. Here's what I can't do. But when your body tells you, okay, it's time to sit down and rest. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, it's okay to rest. It's okay to come back to it later. Don't feel like you have to get everything done at one time. So the postpartum journey, I mean, every woman that has a baby goes through it. But I think that it's important for us to understand that everybody's journey will look different. And as a collective group, for us all to kind of be there, be that village, not just for the child, but for the mother as well. And whether you are the mother that needs the village or you are a mother in the village, it's important to make sure that you're playing your role, and ensure that you're asking for help and you're assisting in any way that you can, depending on what role you're taking on. So we will talk more about postpartum journeys in the near future, but I hope you found this video helpful. In the comments below, let me know what kind of self-care items you actually partake in. If you're currently expecting, want to be expecting, soon to be expecting, or just had a baby, let me know in the comments below. What are some self-care items that you currently do? If you're in your postpartum phase, if you're currently pregnant, what are some self-care items that you plan to do? And then if you're expecting, what are some self-care items that you would look forward to doing? All right. While you're down there in that comment section, go ahead and click the subscribe button, click that cute little bell so that you get notified anytime I post a video for our community. And I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Toodles.